So let's cover this. I know people have been talking about it like crazy and been asking me to talk about it too. Let's talk about the little Easter eggs that exist on the box for our Transformers Legacy Titan class Metroplex. It seems that there's a bit of a history when it comes to Titan class Metroplexes and letting us know about future Voyager class toys. So let's jump into that and do that, shall we? Now, when we got our big photo shoot of Metroplex, Titan class, Cybertron, Legacy toys, we also got a shot of the box art. And people who were really sharp to what was going on the box art noticed that Metroplex was trying to kill a bunch of bugs. Apparently he's really not into his insects. He's trying to kick back on the bottom there, smash him to pieces. But there's another one too that he managed to mess up pretty badly. Mess him into a bunch of pieces, really. And it is that of a Beast Wars Inferno. Now, we knew through listings a while back, very while back, that in Transformers Legacy, our Wave 3 Voyagers will have, in their case, 2 Armada Starscreams and 2, and we put air quotes here, Infernos. Now, some people might say, oh, it's just going to be a reissue of the Kingdom Inferno, right? Or they'll take the Kingdom Inferno and they'll give it a new color scheme, make it G2 colors or something. That's the Generation 1 fan. But we knew that Beast Wars was going to be having a very strong year in 2022, initially when the movie was supposed to come out, and of course 2023. And how could you pass up the opportunity in that Voyager scale to do the Fire Ant, the Madman for the colony? And we have Beast Wars Inferno pretty much confirmed 100% now for our Voyager class. And if the image is anything to go off of, if this is a strong representation of what the toy will look like, that's absolutely fantastic, because we need a new Inferno toy based on that design. The original Inferno figure from 1997's Beast Wars, unfortunately today, is plagued with clear plastic issues that make it extremely fragile. And you just should not mess with it. I did a photo shoot not too long ago showing off all the the Season 1 Beast Wars Inferno toys, and I was so scared to take out the weapon that's stored in his mandible just because of how fragile the plastic is. Man, especially the joints. The joints are the big issue, the knees, the arms. It's just not good anymore. And to get something that's, number one, going to be updated, number two is probably going to be even more show accurate, that'll be awesome. And it's a Voyager scale, so it'll be taller than the other characters. And Inferno was always a hulking figure, despite the fact that he was an ant. Just an awesome character. Love him to death. Awesome stuff. Spider Game was such a hype episode. So many memories. Good stuff. I can't wait for that. But I mean, it's not the first time, though, that, like I said, the Titan classes have really given us spoilers. I mean, the very first Titan class we ever got, going all the way back to our first Metroplex. February 2013, we got to see that box art for the very first Titan class Metroplex. And I remember everyone looking at that box art and going, whoa, 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 whoa. Who's that orange VTOL on the bottom right of the box there? And we didn't know it, but that was going to be our Voyager class Sandstorm. And we didn't know it either, that it was going to be a crazy retool of Springer on top of that. And fast forward 3 months later, in May of 2013, and Hasbro did an official reveal of Generations Voyager class Sandstorm on their Facebook page. So there even is a little bit of history of the Titan class box art giving us a little peek into the future. I mean, one could argue like, okay, maybe our Earthrise Scorponok, because it had the Ark on the packaging, maybe it's a teaser that, oh, we're going to get the Ark next year. I guess, maybe. That was like in May 2020-ish, right in the middle of the big V. And then you could argue, like even in April of 2021, when we got the Ark and we got to see the box art, it had those pterodactyls in the background. And you could say, oh, well, maybe it's just, because Wingfinger made his debut and was also revealed that same day, the fossilizer. But you could also argue, maybe it was trying to say, hey, in a couple months, we're going to release that Golden Disc Collection Pterosaur, and maybe it was a cue to that. Or maybe it's just the background and Marcelo is just having a good job. Who knows? But at least the original Metroplex for sure was giving us a teaser to something at some point. And the Cybertron Titan class now with Legacy is continuing that legacy, no pun intended. But there's other stuff going on in the background too. There's other stuff also that's happening, and it's that we see the Nemesis in the background there, the flagship Decepticon ship. And the argument could be, well, maybe it's just chilling in the background there, maybe it's just part of the story, or maybe, just maybe, we might be seeing our next Titan class in the future. Now, the question is, what does he turn into? Is he going to be an original character? Is it going to be an homage to something? I think, let's just take this apart here for a moment. Now, historically, in the past, recently anyhow, because of the War for Cybertron games, the Nemesis has been associated with Trypticon. Now, granted, Trypticon has always kind of been his own entity in Generation 1. He was the Decepticon HQ and the Scramble City kind of stuff, and the Nemesis was a separate entity for the Decepticon HQ. In the water, everything like that. You guys know. You don't need me to tell you that. But there's been this association recently with Trypticon and the Decepticon HQ that kind of is starting to become harder to separate. Kind of like how Animated kind of made people now sometimes go, the Ark and Omega Supreme, not out of the question, even though they've been separate entities forever. And there was an interview back in September of 2017 with John Warden from the Hasbro Designer Desk on the Facebook page, where he even mentioned, like when that Titan class Trypticon came out, he said that Trypticon transformed into the Decepticon flagship, the Nemesis. Even though that wasn't the case. The final toy did not turn into the Nemesis. It didn't look like the Nemesis. There was no indication on the packaging that any of those modes were the Nemesis. But that was something that John said, which I'm pretty sure is something in the back of his mind that was probably kept there for a reason. And the most important thing that kind of tells me also, if we do get the Nemesis, it's probably going to be Trypticon. And you hear this many times on this podcast, trademarks. Let's talk about Trypticon's trademarks. 1986, toy debuts. Trademark is issued in 1985. 1986, they put out the toy, and they do nothing with that trademark afterwards. Trademark expires. That's the end of that. The dark ages of Transformer trademarks in the 80s and early 90s. When we get to 2006, they re-register the trademark. They use it just loosely, because now it's like, oh, hey, we got to take, we have classics now. We're going to be looking at all our old characters. We got to get all these trademarks back and nice and safe. 2006, we have the Universe Legends scale, Universe line, which was a continuation of classics. And they had the Legend scale, and they had a Cybertron Scourge, a.k.a. Flame Convoy from Galaxy Force, the little Legends one, repainted and trademarked as Trypticon. So there you go. They got it now. And they had that trademark. It expired in 2010. They put out one product to just keep it legal. And then in 2011, they refreshed the trademark, and they put out a Creo in that period of time. And that was in 2014. Right at the end, they registered that trademark, and they held on to it literally to the last year. And then they finally put out a product before the trademark expired. And it expired in 2014. Re-registered in 2015. And then in 2015, in that span between 2015 and 2019 of the 4-year trademark, 2017 gave us, of course, our Titan class Trypticon. Expires in 2019. Now it's 2020. They refresh the trademark, and we have not gotten anything since. Nothing. Granted, we had a Cyberverse TV series. It had a Trypticon character in it, but no toy, no registered trademark product to be attached to make it legal with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So right now, the band that exists right now is 2020 to 2024. They have to put something out in between that because it is registered under Hasbro and they haven't put out a product yet. So maybe it could be a Future Titan class. Could be the Nemesis. Could be. Could be not. Maybe they'll just put out a small little PVC figure in Walmart and call it a day. Or repaint a Grimlock figure or something. They could do that too. They've done stuff like that in the past with other characters to get that cheap little trademark save. That's what the Tiny Titans line existed for, and Tiny Turbo Changers, and Creo, and bot shots. They existed for, oh, hey, a trademark's going to expire, but we don't have any slots to do this character. Could we do a quick and dirty repaint on something just to keep it alive? And that was the case. So, if anything, this Cybertron Metroplex box tells us a lot more than we think. Because while we are going to be probably getting Inferno 100%, maybe Trypticon is in the near future too with the Decepticon HQ. Who knows? Who knows? And what John Warden said in 2017 might ring true finally, ultimately in the end. But that's for another time and another story. Let me know what you think about this. Kind of was late on this one to talk about it, but I really wanted to kind of mill over things and really put all my thoughts in one place and give you guys something profound to think about a little bit and discuss. But let me know what you think. And tomorrow is a Saturday night live stream. Hopefully we'll have some little more stuff to talk about, some little updates on the news. And we'll talk Transformers and enjoy the rest of the evening. And I'll talk to you then.